Today on the channel, we rank the latest wave of Monday Night Wars from my least favorite to my favorite, and we build the Golga Build-A-Figure.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, back again as we finish up the Monday Night Wars latest and greatest set with the Build-A-Figure Golga. And of course, in the back half, we are going to rank the entire wave from my least favorite to my favorite, so stick around for that. And of course, for all your Walmart exclusive Monday Night Wars wave needs, probably better hit up Walmart. But for everything else under the sun, hit up Ringside Collectibles, use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. Got to get a deal out there. And of course, before we rank the entire wave, we got to knock out the Golga Build-A-Figure. One, a lot of people are excited for, and I guess I was kind of excited for this as well. Golga is a character that was a moment in time in the, of course, Canadian earthquake, avalanche, shark, John Tenta, whatever you want to call him. He's had a lot of gimmicks over the years, but his last real run as a gimmick was of the Golga character. Part of the oddities, of course, from the Attitude Era. I remember seeing him for the first time, like, I can't believe Earthquake is doing this. Just a wild time to think about Earthquake's career. There's a lot of stuff going around the internet, like him and Dominic Mysterio are the same age now, and showing a picture of Earthquake like looking like a 50-year-old guy against Dominic at like 27 or whatever it is. Very funny how that ends up in time, how it changes, and how people look younger, longer, because, you know me, I'm 72 years old, and look how I look. It's amazing how that does work. But Golga is very cool, really makes me want to get the rest of the oddities figures. Going to be a tough one. I don't think we're getting Don Callis the Jackal anytime soon. Luna Vachon, maybe? I don't know. There's always possibility she could get a Legends deal. Of course, got Kurgan over there. That would be a cool one. You know me, I love a big figure. ICP would have to be there. I'm not a huge ICP guy, but it is what it is. They've been in wrestling, of course. So I don't know where that will end up going with the Attitude Era and, of course, the oddities. But I do like that we got Golga. You can have it on your John Tenta shelf. Do whatever you want. Put it with your Attitude Era. Choose your own Build-A-Figure adventure. I will say Build-A-Figure went together very easily here. No issues with that. A few things I want to call out as we dive into it. And I guess let's dive into this one before we dive into everything else. We do get two sets of hands here. You got two Fists of Fury, two gripping hands. Choose your own gripping hand or punching adventure, I guess, what you can do there. Diving into Golga right here, diving into that mask. He's got that big brown plain mask. There's not a lot going on with that mask right there. You do get the eyes all blacked out. Almost reminds me of Buzz-Off from He-Man and the Masters of the Universe right there. Same kind of mouth going on, that webbing there, but just a plain Jane brown mask on him. And talk about plain Jane throughout on the body here. You get just a straight up painted white t-shirt going on and then some sweatpants. Almost wants me to get a Norman the Lunatic or even Trucker Norm maybe. You guys remember him from NWA back in the day. Of course, later became Bastion Booger, but almost makes me want a Norman the Lunatic figure. You could easily customize this body into that if you wanted to. But it is just a plain painted on white t-shirt, and we're going to fix that issue here in a second, so stay tuned for that. You got some kind of off-white, I guess, grayish, beigeish kind of sweatpants on him here, down to the black wrestling boots. Now, something I noticed right off the bat, and I was like, is it supposed to be this way? It is. He does got one black line around the sleeve on this one. It is pure white on this one, so there is some differences between the two. I guess he must have wore it that way because the packaging images show it the same way. Looks strange to me at first. Now, I will say the painting on this, not very good on the bicep line there. A little bit of overspray, a little clunky on that. And then on my arm, I got a bunch of extra white paint right there on the elbow. So a little sloppy in the paint department. As usual, we always say it, your mileage may vary on that, of course. Now, his arms do go all the way around. You do get a bicep cut. You do get a double jointed pinless elbow. You know we're here for that. Hands back and forth, side to side. Head back and forth, side to side, removable. Big hula hoop up top, plus traditional waist. Big old splits, kinda, not a ton of movement right there. And then, of course, unfortunately, got those Vietnam problems right there in the legs. We don't get any movement out of that. So we have no movement out of that at all. Very, very disappointing. Of course, this must have been made back in the height of the Vietnam problems, the war that never ends. We're going on about 6-7 months at this point right here. but no leg movement there. You do get thigh cut. You do get double jointed pinless knees, extremely tight down here, big chunky legs, of course. And then you do get the boot cut very tight, and then you get the ankles that are entirely too loose. We've had that issue with the new ankle technology, way too loose in the ankle department. I do got some white overspray on the black boots as well there. So not the greatest figure as far as articulation, posability, all that kind of fun stuff for Golga. Going to be pretty limited in the poses you're going to get this one into if yours is like mine, of course. He should fit on a ringside collectible stand. Yes, he does. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. But the big thing Golga is missing right here, one thing he's fondly remembered for, see, that's what I'm talking about, those ankles. Mattel, what are we doing? Let's get it together over there. Let's send somebody out to Vietnam. Could we send Bill and Steve out to the front lines, and Robert too? Can we send them to the front lines of Vietnam? Could they lead the charge? Maybe. It'd be interesting, wouldn't it? But back to what I was saying, the thing he is known a lot of people by is, of course, him wearing the South Park shirts back in the day. You had the New Age Outlaws wearing South Park shirts. You also had Golga wearing South Park shirts. So South Park on the tip of everybody's tongue back in the day. I've told the story before on the channel. I actually went to work every day as a kid in high school to get a satellite dish so I could get ECW with the Sunshine Network, all that kind of stuff, because I had to have ECW. My dad said, hey, you want to buy a satellite dish, pay for it yourself, and that's exactly what I did. So I got a one connection satellite dish to DirecTV so I could watch ECW, but also so I could get Comedy Central and watch this new thing called South Park. My local cable company at the time did not have that. I was all in on South Park. Of course, any kid in high school would be, especially when it was first coming on board. It was just what I was looking for. It was the bridge from Beavis and Butthead, basically. So I was here for South Park, and I was buying South Park shirts because they sold them at the like Spencer's Hot Topics of the world. Didn't sell so well in my area because nobody knew what it was, but old Kyle did. He had DirecTV in his room, and then I'd wear South Park shirts to high school, and people were like, what is this cartoon? That's stupid. That's dumb. They'd never seen it before, and they were just trying to be cool, saying, oh, what is this? Then about a year later, of course, our cable company finally got Comedy Central. All the kids love South Park, and I was like, oh, I thought it was dumb. Oh, I thought it was stupid. Those high school kids, but it's the way it goes. But I did get a shirt from Threadheads. It is the beefcake shirt, of course, from the famous episode of South Park back in the day. So I did get that for my Golga to make him a little bit more elite, I guess. And we know why Mattel couldn't do it. They can't have the property rights, of course, to a South Park shirt. I guess they could if they wanted to. They just don't want to pay the money for it. I know some people have got those water slide decals. That's above my pay grade, as you guys know, as I've talked about on the channel before. But this shirt, boy, is it tight. It's a tight fit on this one here. Can I get it clasped? There we go. I just got to work it in there, I guess. Does fit very nice and tight, and that's the way you want it, though. But I will display him with this shirt on, of course. Gives him a little bit more personality, more of the Golga we know and love. And then it did come with an Eric Cartman figure right here. Not quite. I think I need to try to find one that's just a hair smaller than this. This one is just a little bit big. I guess it'll do in a pinch, but we remember him carrying around the Cartman doll all the time. And then we remember the t-shirt of the time, of course, for one Golga. So a fun figure here. I know a lot of people looking forward to this one. I guess a perfect build-a-figure. I don't know how well his Elite would do on its own. Very disappointed, though, in the articulation on this one. It'd be interesting if you have the same articulation problems that I do have as well. But, of course, not done with Golga. We do got some of his other gimmicks, of course. We got the shark. Remember the shark back in the day? One gimmick we are missing is the avalanche. Remember the avalanche? He switched to the avalanche. We need to get that one of those days. We got the Canadian earthquake, of course. We got the regular earthquake. Of course, earthquakes can happen anywhere, just not Canada. And then we do got natural disaster earthquake as well. Playing all them earthquake hits right here with Golga. Hopefully we do get avalanche, and then the earthquake wouldn't be bad for an ultimate edition down the line as well. I'd be okay with that as well. So we'll see what ends up happening with the earthquake figures. A lot to choose from over the years here, but Golga, not bad for what it is. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts in the comments down below on this Golga figure. But now we got to turn our attention to the rest of the wave. Let's rank the entire wave from my least favorite to my favorite. All right, time for the set rankings of the latest and greatest Monday Night Wars set here. Of course, we're going to do the set rankings like we always do. We got 5 figures here this time. We're going to start at number 5. We're going to work our way to number 1. Number 1 being my absolute favorite. And as usual, remember this is my list, so it is 100% right. But if you want your list in, hit it down in the comments down below. And guess what? Yours is always right. But people always say, why do you always say that? Well, there's so many people that tell me, Kyle, no, you got it wrong. You should have him at 2, this one at 3, this one at number 1. It's like, this is my list, so it's just mine. It's no different than your list, so you can't really tell me how to feel, but I do get that fairly often, so I always have to put that disclaimer in there, I guess. So without further ado, let's kick it off, and all things considered, not a bad wave here. Now, I don't view any of these guys as like tip-top guys here. We don't got the Austin, we don't got the Rock, you don't got the Warriors, the Hogans, the Macho Mans, the Undertakers, some of the top guys. Obviously, Bulldog, Booker T, Kane, right up there, right up there. You put the ones everybody knows. I'd say those guys are the next level down where not everybody knows British Bulldog, not everybody knows Booker T, not everybody knows Kane, but it feels like everybody knows Hogan, Andre the Giant, Macho, Austin. You get the picture there. But for this wave, it really comes together pretty well. A little bit of everything for everyone, it almost feels like. But like I said, no superstars in this set here, but sometimes that's funner, especially for hardcore people like you and I that are deep in the weeds. We want characters like this a little bit more often. So not a bad set, all things considered, I will say. But we got 5 figures here. Going to be very, very difficult to cut these ones down. Very close all in between here, I will say. But I'm going to start it off at number 5. You know, I'm kind of torn here. I'm a little bit torn. This is one of those ones where you ask me in 2 days, maybe they will flip-flop. Boy, I'm really torn. I haven't been torn this long. And we're the number 5 spot right here. I am torn. I'm thinking the hamster wheel is spinning, or maybe the rat wheel. So I don't know, but I'm going to go Bulldog number 5. That's where I'm going to go right here. It's just not a Bulldog I remember. When I close my eyes and think of Bulldog, I think of about 5 looks before I get to this one, maybe even more than that. But it is cool. I'm glad we got this. I want all the looks of the British Bulldog. Happy we got this in the Monday Night Wars, but for me, number 5, easy. Now, number 4, the one I was debating back and forth with, I'm going to go Kane. Yes, Kane. I do like that this one feels a little bit special, a little bit different than all the other Kanes, but at the end of the day, they are very, very similar. Kind of feels like we've been here before, with a little twist, we'll say, with this one. Still very cool to have, but I'm going to put him at number 4 right there. Number 3, middle of the road, easy to do for me here, and part of that maybe is because of some of the paint sloppiness and some of the joint issues I have. Now, once again, your mileage may vary, but I'm going to go Golga at number 3 right here. I like the idea of getting all John Tenta's characters, so I am happy we got this. I feel like the execution could have been better, but maybe that was just my factory issues on my copy. Maybe yours as well. Shout it out in the comments down below. A little bit of dressing up for this one takes it to the next level with the shirt and, of course, the Cartman doll. Hopefully we get more oddities in the future. I'm definitely not opposed to that. But there's old Golga representing here at number 3, which means there can only be one. We got down to the final 2. 2 WCW stars in this one here. And who's going to be number 1? Who's going to be number 2? Well, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for Booker T at number 1. Hardcore Hack at number 2. Now, if this was a Sandman, he'd probably be number 1, but it is a moment in time for Hardcore Hack right here. Happy we got this. A little bit different, basically just a repaint with some twists and turns. Still a very fun figure, still a cool figure to have. Just probably more people would want the Sandman than Hack, I'd have to imagine. And then Booker T coming in at number 1, a very cool time of Booker T's career. I don't want to say it's a deep cut, but it's definitely a fun cut in the Monday Night Wars line. Can't wait to track down the Chase edition to that one as well. I do prefer the black and the red over the Chase white, though. That's just me. Your mileage may vary, but a very fun Booker T here. Happy to get a solo run. Have to imagine there's some more meat on the bone in the Monday Night Wars for Booker T. Have to think one of these days we'll get a G.I. Bro figure, won't we? Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. But where's Hugh Morris? Where's Disco Inferno? Where's Ernest the Cat Miller? Where's Glacier? Where's Wrath? Hopefully one of these days they can be accessed by Mattel to make figures from, but it's not Mattel's fault. They can only make who WWE lets them, and as of right now, they're not available to. But hopefully in the future that does change. But there it is, the latest and greatest from the Monday Night Wars. What do you guys think? What does your rankings look like? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Dangerously close once again to 50,000 subscribers. Need your guys' help. When we do get there, we'll do 5 giveaways. Yes, you heard it right. 5 giveaways. So make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Check out the Patreon for early access to all the videos from both YouTube channels and your best way to support the channel. ProWrestlingTees.com, search Kyle Peterson, SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, and now on TikTok. So for another wave of the Monday Night Wars, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.